What is up? Welcome to the last baseball show of the regular season. I am your host, Rob Fox. I'm joined, as always, by Dan Holloway. And let's get right the fuck into it. The Braves clinched.
Yeah, they clinched like butt cheeks with diarrhea, right?
Will Smith had a pretty clean inning. I was surprised that I didn't actually get like stress diarrhea from last night.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked all right. Luke Jackson has put together a good season. I'm just waiting for him. He's my pick to click for the playoffs. And when I say click, I mean he's going to make me want to clack off a fucking suicide vest. Because I'm 100% sure he's going to fuck this up for us. I don't know why it's him and on my mind right now. It's because he had success this year.
And last night, too. Like, both those dudes looked really fucking sharp. And usually you're more likely to find a condom on the subway cleaner than their innings.
He and AJ Minter both looked good last night, and so did Will. Will Smith is like 80% of the time he's good. But Luke Jackson threw 70 games this year, and 70 strikeouts, whip of 118, which isn't great. It's decent, but...
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good for a starter. It's decent for a reliever.
Yeah. He only blew 4 saves in his 70 appearances, 31 holds. That's a good season for him. So it'll and that's after his ERA this year was 2. Last year was 6.84, 3.84, 4.43, 4.62. You know, those are his full seasons in Major League Baseball. He's sucked his entire career. So maybe he's figured it out at the ripe age of 30.
His prayers finally started working.
Maybe
he talks to God right before every.
He's one of those Jesus people like Dabo.
Yeah, every time he steps onto the mound, says a little prayer. I'm impressed that he still had faith in God after the way he pitched.
Yeah.
After saying a prayer every time,
yeah.
I was like, this man believes.
Yeah.
And I respect him for it.
AJ Minter looks like he should be working in a fucking coal mine somewhere. He's terrible, just terrible. I hate that guy so much. And Will Smith is not bad. He had 37 saves this year.
Yeah, but he was, again, like those innings, especially lately, never clean.
No,
never clean.
No, you can't do that shit in the playoffs. Every out and every run is a premium.
I hate. It's kind of cliche, but it's true. A walk is a rally.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking like one walk, and you're like, oh my god, this inning is going to be awful. But we'll get into that. We'll get into the Braves specifically in a little bit. I just wanted to start out. AL wildcard race is getting pretty wild. What are you rooting for? What are you looking for? I'm Team Mariners. I want them to make it. They have the longest playoff drought in the MLB.
Yeah, it was 2001 the last time they made it, I think.
20 years.
They won 116 games and lost in the first round of the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I like the Mariners. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you mean by who I'm rooting for. I would like the...
What do you want to see? I mean, a lot. Like if it's on the AL side in particular,
I want it to be as hard for them as possible.
Yeah.
Right. So, the Mariners have a pretty good team. I don't know if they're.
You would think, I guess, the Yankees and Blue Jays would probably be the two. If you just want the AL to be a fucking gauntlet,
yeah,
those would probably be the two. I mean, both have Cy Young contenders and both have ridiculous lineups.
Yeah, I don't know about the Red Sox so much. I mean, look, they've made it this far. They're going to win 90 games probably.
Yeah,
that's not bad. Although of late, not so much. Right. I mean, let's see. What's their? Hang on a sec. Let me look at their second half stats here.
I mean, they had a more competent version of kind of like the Mets season, where they were in first place for most of the year, just kind of cruising while the rest of the division piddled around, except the AL East piddled around at a higher level than the NL East did.
Right.
And then the Rays came on, and the Yankees came on, and the Red Sox and the Jays and the Red Sox kind of fell back into the pack. If the season ended today, they'd be in, right?
Yeah. I think the Red Sox have had some good luck. 26 and 18 in one-run games. That's one of the better records in the league in that scenario. Same thing with the Mariners, 33 and 18 in one-run games.
Well, the Mariners don't even have a positive run differential.
No, they don't. But they're 33 and 18 in one-run games, which means they've been very fortunate.
Yeah.
Also means they had a good bullpen, but they shipped their best reliever out at the fucking deadline, right? So,
Kendall Graveman.
Yeah.
They did acquire Diego Castillo from the Rays to kind of replace him, but the Mariners were the players were fucking.
Yeah, they were
pissed.
very upset about that. It's been a season for the Mariners, up and down. Same thing with with the Red Sox, but the Red Sox seem to be coming back a little bit. I mean, I thought they had completely gone away.
Me too. I thought they were totally faded.
Yeah, with the along with the Padres. The difference is the Padres have now lost 6 in a row, and the Red Sox are 5-5 in their last 10. That's better than you would expect. The Yankees and Mariners are 8-2 and 9-1 in their last 10 games, respectively.
Yeah. They're playing. I mean, they're playing to win. Like they're playing to get the fuck in the playoffs. Nobody's coasting in. It is incredible though how bad a couple of the teams on the cusp closed it out. The Phillies and the Padres, and
the Phillies have the worst bullpen in all of baseball by a wide margin.
Yeah,
I mean it's bad. Not just the amount of blown saves and shit like that, but their team or their reliever ERA and WHIP is by far the worst in the league, and a minus run differential for the season. They're pretty good at home. They are terrible on the road, like really fucking bad. And I don't know. The thing that scares me about the National League is the Cardinals are 9-1 in their last 10. The Giants and Dodgers, who he would expect to just be dicking around at this point, are both 8-2.
Right.
So,
dude, fuck 8-2. This is a stat I read the other day, so I can add a game to it now because I read it yesterday before the games. This is fucking bananas. Since they acquired Scherzer and Trey Turner, the Dodgers are 44-13, and they've gained 1 game on the Giants.
Well, the Giants have won 105 games this year, so
yeah. So those two teams are fucking insane. We'll get into a little bit of a playoff preview next week, but I do kind of think, and as far as the NL goes, obviously, I'm not saying the Braves have like a cakewalk or anything because they fucking don't. They could lose to any one of these teams.
Yeah.
But there's the only team that I'm like, fuck playing them is the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers Cardinals is probably going to be one of the better wild card series we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or series, 1 game
Games.
playoff. Yeah.
Sure. Wainwright is for sure starting that game. Mike Schilt announced that.
Yeah, Scherzer's going to be pitching as well, right?
You have to think.
There's no way. I mean, you could throw Buehler out there. Buehler is great too. Urias is great. They all 3 of those guys could go in this game, but you can't lose with anybody other than Scherzer.
You would kind of think so. Like you got to trot out one of your fucking guys. The only thing I'll say about Scherzer, which is a little interesting, I don't know how you want to put it. Scherzer is a St. Louis native, and he is 2-6 with a 3.31 ERA in his career against the Cardinals. I don't know if he feels weird facing them, if there's just like a extra little thing, like he's getting texts from his friends and it fucks with them a little bit or something like that. That would be the only thing that would maybe have me put Buehler in instead. I don't think I would go with Urias at all. I think it'd have to be between Buehler and Scherzer.
No, Urias is a guy that kind of surprises you. He comes out of nowhere and wins games, which is good. You need that. I don't know. Scherzer's he's a Hall of Famer. And he's actually had some pretty bad luck in the playoffs. His WHIP career in the playoffs is 1.12, but his ERA is 3.8. I mean, those two things are incongruent. That means his defense has let him down, or he's given up. Maybe he's given up more home runs than he should, or something like that, which he is wont to do sometimes. But overall, he's only 7-5. You know.
Yeah.
In 18 starts.
He played on some very unlucky Giants teams, or not Giants teams, Tigers teams. Yeah, who lost to the Giants. The Tigers teams who were like fucking stacked. I remember that was prime Miggy.
Yeah.
They had Verlander, Scherzer. I think that if Robbie Ray wins the AL Cy Young this year, Robbie Ray will be, even though he wasn't really in the rotation, that will be the 5th person on that Tigers team to win a Cy Young.
Yeah, what's that other right-hander's name?
Porcello?
Yeah, Rick Porcello, yeah.
Yeah. It was Scherzer, Verlander, Porcello, Robbie Ray, and I think there's one other guy. Maybe Robbie Ray would be the 4th. But either way, those teams were loaded and just never did anything and kind of had shitty luck and, lost the World Series to the Giants, which a lot of people have done recently.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, I mean, playoffs are tougher, I guess. He's not exactly Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, but
No, he's been good. He's been good and had bad luck. I mean, he hasn't been dominant, but not everyone is.
no. And honestly, even kind of funny, like even the Nationals had horrible luck until they won.
Yeah, they were kind of like the Braves in the playoffs there for a while.
They couldn't get out of the first round until they got rid of Bryce Harper, which, is a good thing to do.
Yeah, that's why the next thing we're going to talk about is our picks for MVP, Cy Young, manager, etc. I don't think Bryce Harper should even be in the conversation.
After the series against the Braves, I mean, he went 0 for 11 with 5 strikeouts in the biggest series in his Phillies career.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure you can give it to him.
This is a real. Go ahead, Delco. I know you got something to say.
I mean, he's just saving himself for the offseason.
Yeah, for Top Golf and shit. He's trying to set that record on the Top Golf course.
Well, he's on a couple Mormon softball teams this winter out in Utah.
I don't know, man. If I had to pick an MVP right now, I guess this is probably a homer pick, but I would pick Austin Riley. He led that team to clinch down the stretch when I didn't think they would. In the last 2 weeks, he's hit 360 with 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. I mean, that's a 32 monthly RBI pace, which would net you about 180 on the season. He fucking, when it mattered, the dude turned it on, and it wasn't just then either. He's 303, 33 home runs, 105 for the season with a 900 OPS. I think he deserves the MVP this year, to be honest.
I'm going to be a little more boring, and I'm just going to go for the National League. I know he only played 127 games, but Tatis Jr., I think, 42 home runs, 25 stolen bases.
He evaporated when they needed him the most, just like Bryce Harper did.
The whole team evaporated.
Then he's the leader of the team, so he's got to bear some responsibility for that. This is about the most valuable player to your team. How was Bryce Harper or Tatis Jr. more valuable to their team? They let their team down when it mattered the most. That is not valuable. I don't give a fuck what they did for 80% of the season. I want to know what they did in the 20% that mattered. And they fucking shrank away. And that's what Bryce Harper always does. And maybe it's what Tatis Jr. will always do, too, because he can't even stay on the field for a whole season. So I don't think either one of those guys. If anybody in the National League, Trey Turner maybe, but that's all stat-based. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Turner suffers from the fact that he got traded midseason.
He did split teams, but you made the point. Turner and Scherzer go over to the Dodgers, and they go fucking 44-13.
Yeah, which
fucking
is
crazy, dude. I mean, you've got to give him something for that.
He is going to win the batting title, most likely.
No, he will. He can't get enough at bats to lose the points he needs. I don't think at this point. There's only 3 games left, right?
Yes,
and he may not even play in some of them.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean he's probably going to have to play in all of them unless they lose. If they lose and the Giants win today, I think the Dodgers are cooked for the division.
Yeah, they're not gonna. The Giants are not gonna fucking get swept. The last series. That's the only way they can fucking even tie for first place if the Giants get swept. So don't worry about that, right? They're down 2 games right now.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it really might be Trey Turner. To be honest, I mean, fucking his OPS is a little low. It doesn't.
But he's a leadoff hitter too, so his slugging doesn't really matter.
Well, his slugging is the one that's not the problem.
Oh, is he fucking bad at getting on base?
He's not bad at it. It's 372, but he doesn't crack 900 essentially.
Yeah,
you kind of want him to be at least above 900. But I mean, 32 stolen bases, 25 homers, and he missed 20-ish games, a little less than 20 games. He probably was hurt for I think 10 or 12 games, and then just sat a couple days. But yeah, I mean, he fucking hit 325. Yeah, so he's going to win the batting title.
You know who didn't miss a bunch of games and who's going to end up playing all 161 of his team's games is Austin Riley, a guy who played Gold Glove caliber defense, was there the whole time, and he fucking turned it on at the end of the season when they needed him to win the fucking division. I don't see how you don't vote for him, to be honest. It's because he's 23 and he's on the Braves.
Right. I mean, he's going to get votes. But yeah, it'll be down ballot votes. He did not even finish above Freeman in terms of wins above replacement, which is odd. But also...
He didn't, but he's in the top 10 in all 3 fucking Triple Crown categories.
And to be fair, in terms of wins above replacement, it's kind of bullshit just because Riley doesn't get the credit he deserves for the defense like you talked about. Like, his defense is genuinely elite. He is
exceptional over there, for sure.
I mean, yeah, the things he fucking fields is just rocket after rocket, and then like calmly gets up, just throws the ball over.
Yeah.
It's real good. He's not. I would still put Nolan Arenado above him in terms of like best defensive third baseman, but yeah, man, Riley's defense is real fucking good.
His WRC plus is 136.
Okay, I think Trey Turner's is about the same.
It's 138. So you take that off the table. Bryce Harper's leading the league. It's 167.
Yeah.
Just not when it fucking matters. And Soto and Tatis are up there at the top in WRC plus as well. But I don't give a fuck if you made all of your shit. If you're a basketball player and you shot 300 for 300 on threes to start the season, but the last 10 games of the year, you just fucking lost it.
Right.
And your team lost getting into the playoffs because of it. What do we mean when we say valuable? Without Austin Riley, the Braves do not make the playoffs. These other teams didn't even make it. You could say maybe the Dodgers don't if they don't have Trey Turner. I think that's a fair argument. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they did turn it on at the end of the season. I don't know if I would expect. I mean, the Padres dumped out all over their own chest.
That's bad.
So I don't know if you can even say that was a race at that point. The real race is between the Dodgers and the Giants, and they didn't
the division.
They didn't win that. So.
Yeah, they're probably. I mean, I think I think Turner has a better argument if the Dodgers had won the NL West, which they probably won't.
They probably won't. I don't think they. I mean, to be honest,
but they probably won't.
Is it worth it to even pursue that, to run out Scherzer, Buehler, and Urias the last 3 games of the season and then still maybe have to play a 1-game playoff?
Right.
Is it worth it to even try that? I think it's not. I think you fucking set your bullpen up or set your rotation up to go whomever you're going to go with game 1, and then you got games 1 and 2 of the fucking divisional series. That's what I would do. It's just not worth the risk. If you lose that game, or if you go out there and you throw your 3 best starters right now and you don't catch them because you can't control it, you're not playing the Giants.
Right.
Right? They can fucking win their 3 games and you're fucked.
Right.
So that's not a bet I would make. I wouldn't. That you got to hedge that.
It's iffy. The way it shakes out right now, it kind of accidentally worked out that way because Scherzer pitched 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So he would be lined up for the last game of the season. So then I guess it is the type of thing where it's like, do we walk him out? But the other thing, too, is do you even need to use Scherzer to beat are they playing the D-backs? Who are they playing?
I think so, yeah. It's the Brewers, yeah. And
but the Brewers are packed up.
Brewers are locked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're done.
So the Brewers will not be giving you an A-plus effort at all.
No. And the Giants are playing the Padres.
Right.
And maybe the Padres feel like spoilers right now, but it seems like they're too busy arguing with each other to win any fucking baseball games. Even after this whole Tatis and Machado tried to come out after their little squabble and say, oh, it's going to fucking move it because we care, man, or whatever. Like, maybe it is. Yeah, they're right, but it didn't turn them on. They're 1-9 in the last 10 games. They lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, I would have started caring earlier.
Yeah.
They're
probably going to finish the season with a losing record after all that.
Right.
So Tatis Jr., if you're not going to win an MVP with a losing record and only playing 127 games, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, at least. I don't give a fuck what your WRC plus is.
That's fair. Cy Young for the National League, it's essentially Zach Wheeler or a Dodger.
Yeah. Again, it's a lot more common for pitchers have won Cy Youngs on losing teams, like losing records all the time.
Cy Young is
Steve Carlton actually won an MVP and a fucking Cy Young on a team that was like they'd only won 70-something games, right? And he won 33 of them or some shit. What was that year?
So he accounted for like 40% of their wins, essentially.
Hold on, let me look that season up because this season is fucking. He butt fucked the entire league.
Was he the last 30-game winner? No, I think it's someone I never heard of, the last 30-game winner. But yeah, he.
Oh no, it was 27 games.
Okay,
so
regardless,
it was 1972. He was 27-10 with 197 ERA through 346 fucking innings and struck out 310 people.
I'd give him a
Cy Young.
I'd give him an MVP for that.
He didn't win the MVP. He just won the Cy Young.
Oh yeah, well he definitely deserves Cy Young.
That was the first of his 4. So.
But no, the Cy Young is pretty much purely a statistical category. It just kind of depends. Different years, people care about different statistics.
Yeah, that's right. And this year is a pretty interesting year. I don't think they pay I don't think it's ever about wins unless you have a ridiculous amount. If you have like 24 wins, and it's like, all right, cool.
Or if it's a good ratio. So Urias is not out of it because he's 19-3.
19-3, yeah. Yeah.
So,
but you got to look at like run support and all that shit. Although there's no luck found in his stat sheet. His whip is 1.04 for a starter.
Right.
There's no luck involved in his success. In fact, you might say it's some bad luck. He only gave up 19 home runs all season in 180 innings, and he still had a 3 ERA with a 1.04 whip, right? Which means he had some base hits dribbled through the infield and shit. Didn't walk a lot of guys either. He only walked 36 people in 180 innings. It's hard to argue against those numbers. But
well, and the winning percentage is going to, I don't necessarily think he should be it, but the winning percentage is going to get him a lot of old guy votes.
Yeah.
Right? Like 19-3 looks really fucking good.
It does. But so he started 31 games so far, 12 quality starts, which means he got a lot of run support.
Right.
He won some games he shouldn't have, so that's the only luck you see in that. Conversely, Walker Buehler he started 32 games this year, 27 quality starts. I don't know if I've ever heard of anything like that before. A quality start is 6 innings, right?
Yeah, 3
With
runs or less.
3 runs or less.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen. I have to look historically. He's a starter. His wins above replacement 6.5. Right.
Yeah.
But his whip is .97. Only gave up 146 hits. Only 19 home runs. Again, didn't walk a lot. Didn't strike out as many as you would think for a guy with that kind of velocity. But 2.49 ERA, 15-4, which is again a good ratio. And if he picks up another win and goes 16-4, I think that helps him out a little bit. But
the lack of losses helps a lot.
Zach Wheeler, 32 games started, 20 quality starts. That's a great ratio. 2.78 ERA, 14-10. I don't know if that's probably not good for him, but he plays for the Phillies, who suck.
Yeah.
His whip is 1.01, so great there. 10.4 strikeouts a game.
Wheeler does get another start, I think. I think he'll get a start on the last day of the season. And again, to go back to the old guy vote, because a certain amount of guys are going to vote based, they're not going to take wins out of the equation, right? A lot of the younger voters will fully take wins out of the equation. They don't really fucking care. But the old guys, they will think about wins, and their magic number for wins, there's 2 of them, 20 and 15. They can swallow voting for a guy with 15 wins.
Yeah.
And they love voting for a guy with 20 wins.
Well, if he gets to 15, then I think it's probably going to be Wheeler. His wins above replacement is 7.7 already this year.
Right. Ton of strikeouts.
And he's at least 1 win above anybody else in Major League Baseball. Lots of strikeouts. If he wins another game, it's probably him. If he doesn't, it's probably Urias or Buehler. I don't know how you could argue with those guys.
Well, I mean, Scherzer leads the league in ERA, leads the MLB in ERA, I think.
Yeah, and there's a lot of legacy voting that happens in Cy Young. I think that doesn't happen. Cy Young and Gold Glove. Legacy voting happens a lot. You don't see dudes get back-to-back MVPs a lot, but you've seen dudes get runs of like 4 consecutive Cy Youngs a number of times.
Yeah.
Maddox did it. Clemens did it. Randy Johnson did it. It's happened a number of times. So,
and I think there might be 2 things too. Scherzer's numbers since he came over to the Dodgers, so you might get a little bit of an MVP type situation here. His ERA is under 1. Yeah. I mean, he's striking out more than like a guy or 2 per inning, something fucking crazy like that. He went just insane as soon as he got to the Dodgers.
Yeah, he started 11 games. He's 7-0 with a 1.98 ERA with the Dodgers. 0.82 whip.
I think his last start actually did hurt him, though. He gave up 5 runs to the Padres. They had to come back and win that game. So
this shows you how bad the fucking Nationals sucked. Because he started 19 games with the Nationals. Stats are basically identical. Still a .89 whip. And it was 8-4. I mean, God, they suck.
yeah,
11.1 strikeouts per walks with these guys, 89 Ks in 68 innings. He fucking lit it up. I mean, honestly, if the Dodgers had won the division, and maybe they still will, maybe, who knows? If they end up winning this division, I think you got to consider him for MVP as well.
Scherzer?
Yeah, because he will have contributed 8 wins to that. 8 wins out of the, 60 games he was present for?
Yeah.
So just on his own, more or less, because if your whip is .82 and you're striking out 11 per walk, that's a big deal. It takes a lot of pressure off Urias and fucking Buehler as well.
So he is, I mean, and he is, by the way, like the leader. Okay, so actually Corbin Burns topped him in ERA because of that last start with against the Padres, and I don't think Scherzer's going to go again unless they maybe have a chance to win the division on the final day. So Scherzer's second in the MLB.
Burns missed like 5 starts.
Burns won't get it.
He's not winning shit.
No. But
He's only thrown like 165 innings this season.
It's a feather in Scherzer's cap in terms of getting votes to be leading a league in ERA, which he isn't anymore, but he is.
It's called black ink votes.
Yeah.
Black ink is in you're a league leader in something because it make it bold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's still leading in WHIP.
I think there's a good chance Scherzer will win because he's won it before.
And I think with the legacy like you were talking about, there might be a certain amount of people that are like, yeah, let's get him 4.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not like he doesn't fucking deserve it either. He's had a great season. This is a toss-up based on which stats you value much. We're not talking about the MVP. We're talking about who is the best pitcher in the league this year. Well, how do you define the best pitcher? That's the argument you're having. And you can, Zach Wheeler, great choice. Even Woodruff would be an okay choice, but he's got a losing record, and they're never going to let that happen.
No.
So
the numbers you would have to put up for that.
Yeah. Wheeler, Buehler, and Scherzer, all really good fucking choices. Even Urias.
Yeah.
Although with a 3 ERA against those other guys that are all sub 2 or all sub 3, that might fuck him up. But 19-3.
30 years ago, Urias might be the front runner.
Yeah.
For the Cy Young.
Any other year than this, he would probably be the front runner, to be honest. Manager of the year in the National League, man, you got to give it to fucking not even just manager. The organization of the year is the San Francisco Giants.
You would think so, right?
You look down that roster, and it doesn't make any fucking sense that they've won 105 games.
No.
So it's...
I mean, how many times can you remember in your lifetime a team... this is the most they've overperformed what they should be doing over 162 games that I've ever seen a fucking team do. Ever.
I mean, you could say that every year about the Rays, but I think maybe we've just gotten so used to them being able to win like that.
Yeah.
That maybe we take it for granted now. But Kapler is doing it in a major market where there's a lot more pressure to win in San Francisco than there is in Tampa, in my opinion. And he's had, as a manager, he's pretty fucking good. I mean, he's the most athletic Jewish man of all time.
Yes.
Right? It's too bad he wasn't around to pair up with Jesse Owens for that fucking Hitler Olympics. Because that would have really fucked him up, man. Bill Bird has a great bit on that, by the way. He's like, we are going to create the superior race. He goes, I think you already did.
He kind of accidentally did over here.
Yeah, his managerial career. I don't know. Look, nobody wants to be the manager of the fucking Phillies. But even after spending 2 years there, he's still 294 and 248 for his career. Yeah. To start off in your first 4 years, that's pretty fucking good. It doesn't hurt to be on the Giants.
No, and they're I'm not even going to try to butcher his name, but the Giants, the guy who runs their front office, it's like Fayed or something like that. He's fucking great, and he came from the Rays and like all the Moneyball situation. Like they have good dudes running it, and he deserves Executive of the Year, I would say. Although I think Alex Anthopoulos has a good argument just for the moves he made
I think Anthopoulos is probably Executive of the Year
for the moves.
Yeah.
In the middle of the season.
Yeah, because look, it's so much more difficult to make those decisions on the fly like that. You don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to have the entire 3-month off season and then the months prior to that to plan, make moves. This is what our team wants to look like. Here's how much money we have and blah, blah, blah. To do shit within a 2-week period after your fucking team falls apart and then have them win their division is a big deal.
Yeah. The only other one I think has an argument for Manager of the Year is actually Craig Counsell.
He could any year for him.
Yeah.
Because the Brewers are the same. They've won their division again. Granted, they've had really good pitching performances, but look at the records for the starting pitchers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the lineup. Like, Yelich was garbage this year.
Yeah, he's been terrible.
Lorenzo Cain fell off a cliff. Like, name one good... I can't even fucking name a good Brewers hitter right now.
Well, the guy that led their team in batting average was Avasale Garcia. He had 265. And he had 29 home runs and 85 RBI. Now, that's a decent season. That's probably a peak season for a middle-of-the-road guy that you won't hear too much about, like a Hunter Pence or Jason, whatever the fuck his name was, that tall dude, Jason Bay. That's a
Yeah.
That's a middle career season for one of those guys, but it's not like great or anything. You didn't get a huge performance.
No.
The kid, he only had 120 hits on the year.
Those numbers are the type of thing you would see on a great team's like number 6 hitter.
He led the team in hits, or has led them. He's only got 120 hits. How the fuck did they win this division?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. You would think, again, over 162 games, it makes no sense that they won 90 plus.
Damn.
Like, I get Woodruff and Burns are great, and they have a great bullpen, even though one of them's gone now, which we'll talk about in a minute.
But they almost, I mean, they'll probably win one more of these last games, so they're going to end up with 96 wins on the year with a plus 130 run differential. I mean, that's fucked up. I don't know how they've done it. So Craig Counsell, sure, manager of the year over there, but 96 isn't 105.
Yeah. Any other year, Craig Counsell's probably the easy choice.
And people have thought Gabe Kapler was a great manager, even when he had both seasons with the Phillies. He was basically at 500, a little below in this first season. He was 80 and 82, and then 81 and 81. He's 134 and 85 with the Giants.
Yeah. I think what was he most famous for in Philly, Dan? Wasn't it something with jacking off?
Taking steroids.
He had some like weird masturbation take that
I'll look it up, but yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't like a rough night outdoors situation, thankfully. But in the AL, MVP, it's down to 2 guys, Ohtani or Vlad. You've been kind of back and forth this year on that. Do you have any final kind of thoughts on who you think it should be?
I will reserve my judgment until I see how Vlad performs over the next 3 games that they need to win all of.
That's fair.
If he goes wild these last 3 games and they get into the playoffs and he deserves it over, I don't give a fuck what Ohtani did. Ohtani did it for some fucking pissant team that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabe Kapler would jerk off with coconut oil.
Okay.
That's not weird. That just makes your dick smell nice.
Yeah, he said replace your body lotion, your chapstick, teeth whitening, mouthwash, face cream, and KY jelly with organic coconut oil.
He works for Big Coconut. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a shill for Big Coconut.
Cui bono. Follow the money.
Follow the coconuts.
Has a significant stake in MCT oil.
Yeah. Just don't do what Homeboy did from Fighter and the Kid. What the fuck's his name? Brendan Schaub.
Brendan Schaub.
He was filming a commercial. It was actually a couple weeks before he came out and filmed something with Black Rifle. He was filming a commercial for an MCT oil and chugged a bit of it, like took a big gulp.
Yeah.
And everybody's like,
Never do that.
Yeah, because just diarrhea for 2 weeks.
If you want a good cleanse, a lot of MCT oil.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Little dab will do you in your coffee. You don't need too much.
So, yeah, Ohtani is what he's done is historic this year.
How do you, if you don't give him the MVP, how do you honor that? Because he's not going to win the Cy Young, right? I don't know what position he would get a Silver Slugger at even.
DH, but he would have to get it against Vlad, and it'd be weird if Vlad won the MVP
Right.
and not the Silver Slugger. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Look, he's probably the MVP. Let's be real. His last start, 7 innings, fucking 1 run, 10 Ks.
I mean, his line is, you know what the offense is, but like 9-2 for the year, 3.18 ERA, 109 WHIP. Second half, 2.84 ERA, 0.96 WHIP. His fucking walks dropped from 4.7 to 1.28.
Yeah, he's had a great year. Here's my question: what would happen if he just did one or the other?
You mean like would the numbers increase?
Would he have hit 55 home runs and had 130 RBI and hit 280 instead?
Yeah.
Because that's an MVP season. But I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I really do feel like, and I feel like if Vlad lights it up the next 3 games and they end up getting into the playoffs, he should win. But that's not going to happen. Ohtani's going to win the MVP. There's no way they're not going to fucking give him the MVP.
It just seems so fucking unlikely.
Yeah.
Cy Young, is there anyone other than Garrett Cole even? It's not a good race. There's a lot of shitty races for the awards this year.
Yeah, there are. I wish I could look it up, but our internet is fucked up again.
I had to switch over to, the other one. It was a good
God
time.
fucking damn it. Google sucks. So fucking bad.
The worst.
God damn, they are fucking pathetic. Let's see here. I'm going to look it up on my phone because apparently Apple is better than Google.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, Garrett Cole's the only one who's put up even remotely like interesting numbers for Cy Young. It's really like, it's been a weak ass year, especially after they cracked down on the stuff. I mean, like you got Nathan Eovaldi, who's 11-9 with a 3.75 ERA. He's third in wins above replacement. I mean, and then after that, there's nobody. Dylan Cease. I mean, fuck. Frankie Montas. Robbie Ray, that's the only other one. Robbie Ray, 2.84 ERA.
Yeah, but he's only got 13 wins. You really don't see a guy with 13 wins winning Cy Young awards. It's probably going to be Garrett Cole. He's a big name too, so it's not like I feel like the voters will. I think they feel some kind of pressure not to give one of their major awards to some fucking goober. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can you believe so-and-so won? If Garrett Cole wins the Cy Young this year, that's not news.
It's not controversial.
He should have won the goddamn Cy Young, especially with the seasons everybody else had.
Right.
He should have been way ahead of them.
He's the only pitcher on that staff.
Yeah. So I think probably Garrett Cole for that.
And then manager of the year, I find this might be the best race. I don't know who to pick, but it's two guys. It's either Tony La Russa with the White Sox, whose lineup
they're not going to give it to La Russa because of controversy.
Yeah.
Right? They voted, the voters for everything in Major League Baseball always shy away from controversy, at least post-steroid era.
Yeah.
Back then they didn't give a shit, but now there's no fucking way. That's not going to happen.
So who do you think deserves it? Because it's either him or Kevin Cash, the Rays manager.
Again,
right?
Kevin Cash and their whole front office could win every award every year because of what they do, but
it's interesting though. So like both teams, but the White Sox even more so, obliterated by injuries all year long. The White Sox have only trotted out their optimal lineup for about a month.
Yeah, they started out the season without their best hitter probably. And I don't know. I mean, I would say if it were me, I would give it to La Russa. There's no question.
I kind of think that La Russa's the choice. Like I really do. The way they didn't have. I mean, they didn't have the lineup they needed. Yerman Mercedes died, basically. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. Eloy Jimenez wasn't there for most of the year. I mean, it's just fucking nuts. Like, I don't know how that. I know their division sucks, right? Like the Indians aren't good, and then everyone else is just absolute garbage. But like, I guess the Twins should have been good. I don't know what the fuck happened to that team. Whereas I guess the best argument for the Rays is they dealt with some injuries too and played in a way better division.
Yeah.
And won more games, I think.
But they do it every year too. So is there something to that? Do you have to at some point ask, are they just doing something different than everybody else and they're good at doing that one thing? And yeah, it produces wins, but does that mean they did something extraordinary?
Right.
I don't know if that's the case or not. Otherwise, Billy Beane would have won the fucking GM of the year every fucking year he was a GM. You know what I mean?
Well, it's almost like
it didn't happen that way, by the way.
It's not that different from arguing like, well, that pitcher got a lot of run support, right?
Right.
If Kevin Cash has a way better front office, and if he's getting sort of the executive version of run support, do you weigh that?
I think you have to.
Because there's no doubt, like the White Sox don't have a bad front office, but like there's no doubt that the Rays are they
have the best front office in baseball, probably. I don't know. The White Sox, you could also say their front office put this team together in the first place. You know what I mean? That has fucking Eloy Jimenez and Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu and so on and so forth. Liam Hendricks and Craig Kimbrell, that was a big pickup.
Yep. Yoan Moncada. I mean, it's a stacked team. It's a fucking stacked team.
They'll be fun to watch in the playoffs. I don't know. It's
for what it's worth, though, they didn't get La Russa to win in the regular season.
No, they got him for the playoff. He's one of the best playoff managers ever. I mean, him and Torrey.
That's why
he's the two best.
That's why he's there. Like he's there to get them over the hump in October. They're not fucking worried about whether or not he wins Manager of the Year.
No. Ohtani is leading the majors in wins above replacement at 9 right now. He's not going to get to 10 unless he gets a full win above replacement in one game or 3 games of batting, which seems unlikely.
He's just hit 6 home runs in your last 3 games.
Yeah. But it's at 9 wins above replacement combined. I think that's a good argument to make for him winning MVP no matter what happens. Because if you had a 9 or 10 as a pitcher or a hitter, you would win the MVP probably, right?
Yeah, certainly as a hitter. The only times that Trout didn't was when Cabrera
had a triple crown.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, was it 2015?
I think it was like
or
2012 or 13. Yeah.
Maybe. Guess we'll see. But that's I think that's a good pick, La Russa. That's who I would pick.
I think so too. I'm leaning towards him. Kevin Cash isn't a bad choice, by the way. There's no. It's not like he.
I wouldn't mind seeing him either. The thing Kevin Cash did, so they both had issues. Kevin Cash is managing a lot of young guys, one of which came up halfway through the fucking season. He's also doing more with less, technically, but. They did get Nelson Cruz, which is a big pickup.
Great pickup.
And
I mean, he didn't have Glasnow for most of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, they had big losses too.
Yeah.
I would say La Russa had the better pitching staff throughout the year.
More consistently present,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, their best pitcher was there most of the year.
Yeah.
Although the back end of their rotation flipped around as much as anybody's in baseball.
Yeah, for sure.
And they also suck. That's the one. That's the one downside for the White Sox. I think they're pretty much set up for any divisional series, but once it gets to the LCS and World Series, that's where it's going to be a problem for them.
Yeah, they are not the type of team that can just shrug at a split.
Yeah, no, they need to win. They need to win all their home games and steal games on the road to win for sure.
Yeah, if they go 1-1 in the first 2 games, that's a big fucking problem.
Yeah,
it's not like with a lot of teams. It's like, all right, that's fine. We took a punch, gave a punch. Let's keep going. Next up, speaking of things that aren't fucking optimal, the Brewers' best setup man and the rookie of the year from last year, maybe rookie of the year candidate, I can't remember, broke his hand while celebrating their divisional win in the NL Central. Devin Williams of the Brewers, their electric setup man, their 8th inning guy behind Josh Hader, who is maybe the best closer in baseball right he punched a wall while he was out celebrating. Wasn't even in the stadium. Was like out at a bar, strip club, or who knows what. Apparently the story is he was celebrating, was shit-faced, got angry about something completely unrelated, and punched a wall. The Brewers are 70-4 when leading after 7 innings, right? So they're 70-4 when they get to turn the ball over to Williams and Hader. And they just lost Williams.
Yeah, not good.
No.
Not good.
Josh Hader hasn't pitched more than 1 inning this year. And the 2 guys in line to replace Williams both have ERAs a half point and full point higher than Williams does. They're not bad. Williams had his ERA in the 2, so the guys aren't incompetent or anything. But how would you feel about that? Counsell is a good bullpen manager.
He is, yeah. I mean, he's a good manager, generally speaking. But that Boxberger dude's pretty good. Hader is obviously very good. Devin Williams, good. Good enough, I suppose. Those are regular season games, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Brent Sutter is a really good long reliever. He pitched in 59 games this season. He did start 1 as they did a bullpen game, but he was 12-5 as a reliever. You know what I mean? So they really count on their bullpen, and you could say, yeah, they have guys that can step up and fill in those roles. How many high leverage innings have they pitched this year? How used to being in those situations are they? And I think probably not much. Boxberger actually led the league or led the team in holds. So I think they'll be fine with him, and he threw 70 games this year. But the rest of the team, I don't know. We'll see. When you move shit around, it's like all these things work really well to a 70-4 record when you lead after 7 innings because you have these pieces in place. You remove one of them, it's like a fucking bike chain sometimes.
Right.
But also, maybe they fucking light it up again. Who knows?
They are, like we just talked about with the White Sox, I mean, there is a little bit of pressure there when those guys come in, if they come in with a lead in the first 2 games, because there's not much behind Woodruff and Burns, right? So they can't blow a fucking lead.
No.
in one of those first 2 games.
No, and if they go into a long series, an LCS or the World Series, they're probably going to have to use a bullpen game here and there. So
Yeah, I mean they
we'll
have
see.
enough starters to they don't need to do like a full bullpen game where the first guy only throws like an inning or 2, but their back end of the rotation in the playoffs, especially in an LCS, you're probably only going to see that guy throw for like 4 innings. Like their 3 and 4 starters are going to be real quick hooks.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, man, that sucks for that guy. But the Braves are playing him in the first round, and that doesn't make me too unhappy to see one less.
No, the
elite
Braves.
arm.
The Braves. It's kind of flip flop for them. Their starting pitching should not be an issue at all.
No, we'll get into that. I love the depth that they have this year. But let's get some ads real quick first. We got some MyBookie going on. You guys talked about this yesterday, but Tom Brady is returning to New England for the biggest NFL game of the year, and the stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're back in the Bucks or Pats this Saturday, the game is always more exciting when you've got money on the line at MyBookie. Who did you pick for that game?
I got. Hold on, let me look and make sure I'm not telling tales here. I don't think I bet on this game yet, but I will. I'm going to take a lot of the. I don't know if I'm going to bet on the actual game yet because I don't know what the spread is going to end up as, but I am looking at the props for it.
Yeah.
Because I think Brady's going to throw 4 touchdowns. I think he's coming in with he's already said it a couple times in the media this week. Like, yeah, I want to fucking kick their ass. Mm-hmm. Of course I do. And all the stuff behind the scenes that we've talked about the last couple of weeks, the great players in every sport, the people that are GOAT people like Kobe, Jordan, even if you want to include LeBron in that, Tom Brady's obviously in that conversation as well. They find reasons to play harder in some games that matter to them. And sometimes people like Jordan find a reason for every game.
Right.
Right. But Brady's going to fucking light these dudes up, right?
I like the touchdown prop, too, by the way, because it feels like the type of thing where maybe he somehow, because the Patriots scheme for him well, he only throws for like 250, 280 yards, but he calls a lot of passes in the red zone.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But especially for that, he's like, all right, fuck the yards, but I can still put up 4 touchdowns,
Yeah.
and that'll be the lead on SportsCenter. That'll be the lead, and
Yep.
that'll be what is trending on Twitter. That I, threw a 2-yard touchdown to Gronk twice against the fucking Patriots. So yeah, man, get in on that action at MyBookie. Both teams have great defenses. MyBookie likes the under. That's a smart bet that they can kind of think
The Patriots probably won't score a whole lot of points.
I don't know how Mac Jones is going to do against that defense. I don't think Richard Sherman will be on the field yet, but still, the Bucs defense is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
So don't wait around. Join MyBookie now and bet on the biggest game of the season. Use the promo code Drinkin' Bros to double your first deposit. By the way, you can also bet on if Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to catch Brian Laundrie on MyBookie. So again, that promo code is Drinkin' Bros to get double your first deposit with MyBookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Next up, we got ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. They're the best mattress in the world. You guys listen to this show, you fucking know. We have one in the studio. They got a 20-year warranty. You can try it out for 101 nights. If you don't like it, you can mail it back like a psycho. Wrap up a mattress and leave it on your porch for the mailman, I guess. But you won't need to send it back because it's so fucking good. And they have cooling technology. It's still not cool here.
No, it's cooling down a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's a nice autumnal 79 today in Texas. So yeah, the cooling technology is nice if you live in a hot area. And right now, GhostBed is offering bundles still. Ross likes to say their IT guy fucking died, which is maybe accurate at this point because they really are they haven't changed it. You can get 40% off a bundle. Start with a mattress and an adjustable base, one of their 4 mattresses and base from there. It's 40% off, and you can add in the cooling pillows and sheets and stuff like that. It's the best bang for your buck. You're getting almost half off on, an already inexpensive mattress. It's already also the best mattress that you will find anywhere. It's as good of a deal as you'll ever get on anything. Or if you don't need all that stuff, you can still shop a la carte and get 30% off using the promo code Drinkin' Bros. So if you just want the pillows or just want a mattress or just want a mattress topper, which kind of turns any bed into a ghost bed, you go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Use the promo code Drinkin' Bros. and it's 30% off. But and the mattress, by the way, the financing is like $35 a month, 0 down, 0% financing. If our credit works, anybody's credit works.
If my fucking credit works.
Right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
And then last but not least, we have a product I'm actually literally using in the middle of this show.
Same.
Fucking Killcliff.
Yeah.
We are both drinking. Is that an Ignite or a CBD?
Ignite.
Okay. We're both rocking the energy drink right now. Killcliff is our favorite CBD drink, our favorite energy drink. We just got them back in stock in the studio, which we didn't have for a while because we fucking crushed them.
Yeah.
Like, we go through them at an absurd rate. They are our favorite energy drinks. We love the CBD drinks with or without adding some tequila or vodka to them. And right now, CBD, Killcliff CBD, Killcliff Ignite, all your favorite flavors are back. The CBD products, Flamin' Joe, that's Joe Rogan's flavor. It's spicy pineapple. They got Mango Tango, Orange Kush, the Goat, Strawberry Days, or you can get a variety pack on their website because they're running a 30% off offer right now. Just go to killcliff.com and use the promo code DrinkinBros that'll get you 30% off anything, by the way, drinks and apparel. So that's the CBD drinks, the energy drinks, Ignite. The Ignite also has the Flamin' Joe now.
Yeah.
And they have, was the Israel Arasano, is that an Ignite or is that a CBD?
I think it's only an Ignite right now. I don't know if when they're going to come out with the CBD version of that.
Okay. Yeah. So they got some good flavors from some cool people. And I like the energy drink a lot. It's my favorite drink when I'm hungover because it's not like a energy drink that gets you all fucking jittery and shit.
Yeah.
No sugar, 20 calories per can, natural caffeine, B vitamins, electrolytes, so it hydrates you. It's not, like I said, it's not going to get you jittery, and it's not just like empty energy like coffee. It really is like, it's legit. I love it. I drink them way too much. Killcliff, again, is offering 30% off. Go to killcliff.com. Use the promo code DrinkinBros. That's KILLCLIFF.com. Use the promo code DrinkinBros to take advantage of that 30% off offer. Next up, we talked about Ohtani a little bit. I wanted to get your thoughts on...
Wait, we haven't talked about Dusty Baker at all as manager of the year.
Do you like him as a?
I think he's got to be in the conversation. They've got bullshit performance out of their starting pitching. Only one guy in their rotation, and not one that's been there all season, has at least half his starts are quality starts.
Yeah.
That should be the fucking standard. The other two, Greinke and McCullers are right at 50% of their starts being quality starts, which is pathetic. And Verlander's been out all season. And still, they're going to win 96 games probably.
Yeah.
Or 95 games probably, rather. Win their division again for a record time for their franchise.
I mean, they have a deadly lineup.
Their lineup is really fucking good.
I think Brantley was out for a while, too, by the way.
Yeah, Michael Brantley was out for a while. Altuve's had a down season for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't had a great season. And somehow, despite... They brought in the perfect guy for this. Dusty Baker's a fucking franchise Band-Aid. If your franchise is going through some bullshit, you bring him in, and he can probably win you a division, to be honest. If you've got a good team and they're going through crazy bullshit,
Not
he's
to mention,
the guy.
It makes it harder to hate them,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's just...
Unless you're a fan of American Dad. They did an episode. You ever seen that one?
No.
So they did an episode where Dusty Baker is credited with inventing the high five.
Yeah.
Which is stupid because people have been doing that shit for 1,000 years. But he's credited in American sports for being the inventor of the high five. And it turns out Klaus, the fucking fish,
who was an Olympian, I think
he was a
backstory.
German Olympic skier, and they put him into the body of a fish. The CIA did or some stupid shit. But anyways, he... goes to Dusty Baker and is like, hey, I'm actually the one that invented the high five, and here's the proof. And apparently Dusty Baker's been clout chasing and stealing things from people for years. And then he tried to become a fish to one-up Klaus for being a fish, and he drowned in a fucking fish tank. So, it's rough. It's rough.
I need to watch that episode.
Yeah, but no, Dusty Baker's obviously everybody loves the dude. He's won manager of the year a couple times, I think, and he should at least get a look for this one. I think maybe he should be the favorite because what did La Russa and Cash have done stuff that they've done pretty much every year on every team they've ever been on, and maybe you could say the same about Dusty, but I think as a manager, he has more impact on teams. You can see it because who was the manager before him on that Houston team that just fell apart?
I forget the name, but he's with the Tigers now,
Yeah.
I think. But I mean, he's the guy that won the World Series.
He did, but they cheated for that one, right?
Right.
And he allowed it. Was it Osmus?
No.
Who was it?
It was after Osman. Fuck. We looked that up real quick.
Yeah, look it up.
It's like AJ Hinch. I was saying it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
really like generic name.
Some stupid catcher from back in the day. But yeah,
Right.
you gotta at least give him a look. I don't know if he wins or not, but
He's probably getting top 3 votes, right?
yeah, he's won Manager of the Year in the National League 3 times: 93, 97, and 2000.
And that was with how many different teams? One was with the Giants.
One was the Cubs, I think, in 2000. Or no, 2000 was the Giants.
Yes.
When was he with the Cubs? That was later on, right?
Yeah, it was. Oh, man.
Let's see. Who was he with in 93 and 97?
93 might have also been the Giants.
Yeah, he got to the Cubs in 2003.
Yeah, so he won. What were the years?
93, that was, yeah.
That was the Giants?
Yeah, all 3 were the Giants.
Okay.
That's funny he won in 93, even though the fucking Braves came back and spanked that ass.
I know.
At any rate, yeah, he's won a couple times, so maybe if they have some, if there's any kind of legacy shit in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crowded race, though, like, because even you got your, like, the Mariners manager is going to take votes.
Yeah.
I don't think, I'm blanking on his name, but the dude for the Red Sox who also got suspended for cheating.
Joey Cora?
Yeah, he's not going to get any votes.
Wait, is it Joey or Alex?
Alex.
Joey's his older brother.
Yeah.
He was around when, he was a shortstop, right? And then Omar Vasquel, or was he a second baseman too?
I don't remember.
I need to ask him about Omar. Because didn't Omar play for the Mariners for like 2 years or some shit?
I mean, Omar Vasquel played for everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years Omar Vasquel played for the Mariners. And Cora was there, right, in the early 90s? Yeah, Joey Cora was on those teams. I need to ask him if he's got his dick grabbed.
Okay.
Because he had a baby face and is wondering how far it goes with Omar. He likes to jack off the Bat Boys, but the Bat Boy was like a retarded 22-year-old.
Yes. But he, I think, likes to jack off in front of the Bat Boys.
Oh, I see. So he's like Louis C.K., but for retarded Bat Boys.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
All right.
But he does get his back rubbed in the shower by them also, allegedly.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, you know. Last but not least, I want to get your thoughts on, I mean, fuck it, we're Braves fans.
Wait, Ohtani.
Yeah.
Skip it. 6th player in MLB history with 45 home runs and 25 stolen bases. Big deal.
Yeah. That doesn't happen a lot.
No, obviously. It's only happened 5 times before this year.
And that's before you get into his pitching.
Yeah. His end-of-year line and pitching is going to be 9-2, 3.18 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, which is exceptional for a starting pitcher. 10.77 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is also exceptional for a starting pitcher. Second half, he had a 2.84 ERA and a sub-1 WHIP.
The next stat's what I love.
Yeah, his walks per 9 inning dropped from 4.7 to 1.28. That's really good.
But and you see what the K to 9 dropped as well.
Yeah.
So it seems to me he kind of like
started learning how to pitch and not
reined
just throw the
himself in a
ball
little
hard.
bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he hit the ball so hard one time it broke the webbing of a dude's glove. I mean, this is like some the natural shit that you're seeing right now. I don't know if Robert Redford is even still alive, but I hope he is. I guess I don't know.
He's still there, still kicking.
What's he doing these days?
Well, he did make an appearance in Avengers Endgame a couple years ago. I don't know when.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was the defense secretary or some shit. Yeah.
But he's 85. He could be older.
Well, I mean, Roy Hobbs wore the number 9. I think that Ohtani should look into switching his number to number 9.
I mean, he's about as natural as anyone's ever fucking been.
Or 3, Babe Ruth, right?
Yeah.
He's had a great season. He's probably going to win the MVP with a 9 wins above replacement. I just think that I'm one of those people that thinks that the team's performance based on how good you are should factor in, and it usually doesn't. It's not like the NBA where it's often the best player on the best team, but I think that the NBA, the predictor is PER usually, not necessarily the best player on the best team.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the best player on a decent team.
Yeah.
Like, even when you had, like, kind of more of a stat-chasing type guy like Westbrook get it, like, they still made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
He still led the league in PER. even if he was just kind of like dumping in some empty points and empty rebounds. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I think actually baseball is the one that values making the playoffs the most in the MVP conversation, as opposed to football or the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Because you have some weird ones sometimes. I mean, you have like I don't think Jimmy Rollins was that high up in 2008 on the wins above replacement list or anything like that. I think it was purely because he was arguably the best player on one of, if not the best team in baseball that year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get a lot of guys like that. Even Chipper, when he won it in 99, he did not lead the league in wins above replacement. Jeff Bagwell did.
Right.
Jeff Bagwell actually had a fairly decent, better season than him statistically. But Chipper went fucking bananas in September and won the division for Atlanta that year.
Yeah. I mean, that should matter.
Yeah, it should. Absolutely. I agree. But yeah, I was looking back at that the other day in 99, and Bagwell had a fucking crazy year that year.
He did. He had a lot of crazy years, but he had fucking juice in every hole in his body. That dude.
He actually looks, in a lot of ways, more roided than McGuire or Sosa ever did, because he just looks like a muscle that grew legs and arms.
Yeah.
Not like a bodybuilder, but like a lone bicep that just became sentient.
Yeah.
Because he's so like round and weird. Jeff Bagwell creeps me out. I don't like the way he looks as a person.
No, I think we should send the cops after him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of looking at him. Last but not least, I want to get your thoughts on this because fuck it, we're Braves fans. What do you want to see from the Braves aside from winning this NLDS? Who do you want to start game one? So the game 1 and 2 starters are obvious, but what order do you want them in?
I would say probably, and here's why they're, aside from just being obvious, here's another reason why they're obvious. So the last month of the season, Max Fried, 154 ERA, 3-0, on base percentage allowed, 162. That's fucking stupid.
Right.
That means every hitter that comes up has a 16% chance of getting on base. 16% is 1/6. That means one base runner every 2 innings, basically.
Right.
For the last month of the season. Now, like, oh, how are you going to beat that? You're not going to beat it, but you can get damn close because Charlie Morton was fucking 180. So I think the only thing different between these two guys going into this particular series with the Brewers is that the Brewers have not seen Fried this season. So I would go with him first, probably. And then I would go Morton second, although there's no bad choice there.
And it's nice because you go lefty-righty or righty-lefty,
Yeah.
which I think makes a difference. I think I'm always annoyed watching my team have to deal with a different-handed pitcher in the playoffs back-to-back. And then the next one is who starts game 3. So we're going to have 4 starters, at least if we play in a 7-game series. So then what's the order of the next 2? Ian Anderson, Hosker.
Ian Anderson is obviously the obvious. One, he's been pitching well lately, including last night before that little dinger he gave up. But he pitched 4 games in the postseason last year, won 2 of them, .96 ERA. He's getting the fucking ball for sure.
Game 3?
For game 3, yeah, absolutely. And I don't even know, to be honest, depending on how it all shakes out, I don't know if Anoa even makes an appearance in the first series.
So I was going to say, like, in the first series in particular, but, I mean, maybe even if they do advance, do you go with 3 starters or 4? For this? I mean, Anoa's not bad. He's been a little shifty as of late, but...
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. Well, you'd have to see who you matched up with in the second round. If it's either going to be in the in the NLCS, it's either going to be the Dodgers or fucking Giants, probably. Maybe the Cardinals, but probably the Dodgers or Giants.
Right.
To be honest, I don't know about that one. And Noah's pitched really well in high leverage situations this year. When he's been in meaningless situations and bored, he's not done well. That's why I think he might be a good closer he might be a better closer than a starter down the line.
Yeah.
Because of that. But he's also like a big kid, and he gets stronger as the game goes on. And it's hard to, with a guy's running out there giving you a 1.08 whip as a starter for the season as a rookie, it's hard to put him in the bullpen after that. You know what I mean? Because if you can do it over that amount of innings, that means you've got multiple pitches that you can throw for strikes. I don't know. I would have to look and see if he's pitched against either one of those teams this year. Let's see. He pitched against Milwaukee. It did not go well. Pitched against the Giants. 6 innings, 2 runs. Not bad. But they've seen him. The Dodgers haven't seen him.
Okay.
So if it's the Dodgers, I might even give him the game 1 start if it's on the road.
Yeah.
Like if you're in LA, you want to steal one of those games, but you can't expect to win both.
Right.
So maybe you give him that first or second start. Maybe
Toss him
bring
against Scherzer or something.
Maybe bring Morton back, and then you fucking throw him in game 2. Who knows? But whatever happens, I assure you that Snitker will fuck it up. He is the worst at managing a rotation of any human being I've ever seen. And he learned it all from Bobby Cox, who had the best rotation in the history of baseball and only won for fucking 10 years and only won 1 goddamn World Series. You should be able to win with Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz. You should be able to win a World Series with you and I as all the hitters. Jesus fucking Christ.
Seems like we have similar experiences.
Yeah.
With elite rotations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That year that you guys had Lee, whatever the fuck,
Oswalt.
Cliff Lee, Roy Oswalt,
Holiday, and Cole
Jesus
Hamels.
Christ, and Cole Hamels. You fucking kidding me?
They didn't win that year.
All 4 of those guys have won Cy Young Awards.
We won the year we only had Cole Hamels.
In fact, the last year you made the playoffs was 2011, the year the Cardinals outdueled Chris Carpenter and the Cardinals outdueled Roy Halladay in Game 5 of the NLDS in 2011 when the Cardinals had that crazy just postseason in September.
Yeah.
The Phillies have not recovered.
Never have. Ever since Ryan Howard tore his Achilles, running to first base, making the final out of the 2011, what was that, like DS?
Yeah.
NLDS? Yeah, we've never. I stopped paying attention after that. That was the end of my fandom.
It's a good time to stop.
If the Mariners, by the way, make the playoffs this year, the Phillies will inherit the longest playoff drought in baseball.
They deserve it.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
To be honest, they definitely fucking deserve it.
They just hired a new front office guy. They're completely cleaning out their farm system situation because they are fucking pissed.
Cleaning out their closet.
Yeah.
I bought low and I sold high.
That's true. And then the other thing is, what do you want to see with the lineup? I think you probably keep Soler leading off at this point, right?
Yeah, he's in a pretty good groove right there in the leadoff spot. I wouldn't move him now.
And then Albie's still hitting third, or do you fuck with that at all? So last year, if you remember, I doubt you probably don't want to move Riley, right? Leave him in the 4 spot.
Yeah.
But D'Arnaud was hitting cleanup last year, and I mean this lineup goes 8 deep, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the difference in statistical output all the way down to slugging and OPS and on base percentage and everything for Freddie Freeman is pretty much identical between the 2 and 3 spot, right? So that gives you some flex. That's why he's in the 2 spot. Right. Otherwise, Freddie Freeman's their best hitter, right? With Acuna out, he's their best hitter, but he is in the 2 spot because he can be in the 2 spot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You definitely don't move Soler out of the leadoff spot. And Albies, I think the 3 spot is where he hits the best. So, fucking, what it really makes me want is for this season to be over, so we can see that next. Because this season didn't start Acuna, Freeman, Albies, Riley. That's not how this season started.
No, Riley was down in the order.
Yeah, if that's how it was right now, I mean, I would think the Braves would probably be the favorite to win the World Series if that were the case, because that's a fucking murderer's row right there.
I mean, even still, this lineup is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
How would you?
So Albies hits 40 points higher in the number 3 spot than any other spot in the lineup for his career. He's hitting 293 in the 3 spot, no higher than 255 in any other spot.
I mean, being wedged between Freeman and Riley
doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It sure as shit doesn't hurt. He doesn't walk a lot, so the fact that they have to throw strikes to him, that is the perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
And Riley has turned into a guy that can be patient. You see him foul off bad pitches and then get a hanger and one-handed over the fence like he did last night. So I think they're pretty set up. The real question is how do you fucking program behind them? Is it Duvall and then do you want to go right, left, right, Duvall, Rosario, d'Arnaud, Swanson?
Right.
You know what I mean? Swanson is he's a really good hitter for sure, but he's one
catching fire right now.
Yeah, he's also really streaky too, and he hits better the farther down the lineup he goes. But his sweet spot is 6th. That's where he hits his most home runs. Like he hit 13 home runs in the 6 hole, 9 in the 5 hole, He had 70 more at bats in the 5-hole. So his home run rate, his RBI rate, he walks at a higher rate and hits 274, his highest percentage anywhere other than 8th. In that 6-hole, that's where I would put him. So I would probably go Riley and then Duvall or Rosario, depending on who's pitching that day, and then fucking Swanson, and then d'Arnaud. Look, having d'Arnaud down at 7 or 8 in your lineup is not a fucking... That's not a tragedy. That's a good thing. He will take bad pitches.
He was hitting cleanup for the Braves last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
but he's also a disciplined hitter. Like he'll fucking if you throw him shit, he will take it and walk. He hasn't had, and I think that's good for him too because he hasn't played a lot this year.
No, he was out most of the year.
And it gives him an opportunity. I mean, he only walked 17 times in 58 games. But if you stretch that over the course of the season, not too bad. His on-base percentage is low this year, but last year was 386.
I mean, I think you got to kind of throw this year's numbers out the window for d'Arnaud just because he was hurt and missed most of the year.
Yeah.
So I think he maybe didn't get – I mean, so you take the beginning of the year numbers where he maybe wasn't getting going, right, or was getting going kind of slow. Then he gets hurt, and then he comes back, trying to come back from an injury. Like, I'm more concerned with who Travis d'Arnaud is as a player in general than I am with what his hard numbers were this year.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's just he's his on base percentage when he's right is going to be somewhere in the mid to high 3s, and that's what you want out of an 8-hole hitter. Somebody that's not going to fucking go out there and just strike out. Yeah. Somebody that will take the bad pitches, take the walk, and then fucking clear the pitcher spot, or maybe get a hit with 2 strikes. He's in his career with 2 strikes, pretty good hitter. I mean, 0-1, he hits 294. 0-2, nobody hits good 0-2. But he had a lot of RBI. Actually, most of his RBI were with at least a strike, if not in a non-hitter's count. So, you want a guy like that hitting 8th. He doesn't strike out much. 0-2 strikes out a lot more 2-2 than 0-2 actually, which is kind of weird.
Interesting.
But yeah, he's another guy that can hit pretty much anywhere in the order. I don't think it fucks with him too much.
No, I don't think so either. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they organize everything, and then, the bullpen. At least it's not in flux in a bad way, but at least Snicker's flexible before Smith. He seems to be locked in with Will Smith as the closer, which is fine, I guess. But it's nice that he'll use Richard Rodriguez. He won't be oh, that's my 7th inning guy. Right, I'll only use him in the 7th inning no matter what. Right. It's nice he's being flexible there, I suppose, between Jackson, Rodriguez, Matzik, and Minter.
Matzik isn't even on the roster right now, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah. No, he's good. He's got 2. He's probably the best reliever in the bullpen. Him or Rodriguez.
I don't trust any of these dudes.
That's our Achilles heel for sure. Is the fucking bullpen. It's a fucking nightmare. You just gotta hope Fried and Morton throw 7.
I mean, Matzik hasn't given up a run in a while.
Yeah, I mean, Matzik's great. Matzik's a lefty who throws damn near 100, strikes out a lot of guys.
He's got a 1.2 whip, though. That's rough for an 8th inning guy.
Yeah. Well, we don't have an 8th inning guy, though, right? It's anyone could go in the 8th. Just kind of depends on what they're feeling, I suppose.
He hasn't given up a run since September 7th, but he gave up 4. But that's out of 12 appearances. Yeah. That's why you can't pay attention to relievers' ERA.
No. Whip is where I judge a reliever, for sure. ERA is pretty whatever.
Yeah, his whip is kind of high this year, but I don't know. I don't trust any of the Braves' bullpen, to be honest.
No, it's going to be the 6th, 7th inning on. That's where you grab the drinks. Yeah. And just fucking white knuckles.
See what happens.
Until the end of the game.
If they make it to the LCS, my prediction is they will make it to the LCS and take a lead on whomever and then fucking blow the lead. They'll be up 2-1 or 3-1 or something like that in the series and lose.
I mean, if they blow another 3-1 lead, I'm going to...
Do what? Kill yourself? You said that last year, you fucking pussy.
I know.
Kill yourself on live television.
One of these days.
Let's just make it happen. I'm tired of this shit.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, see ya.